Hey guys, so today we are multiplying polynomials. Before we get started with the lesson though, I want to see if you know how to do these problems right here. So pause the video and see if you remember how to do those. Okay, so for these in the top box, 6 times x is the same thing. It's just 6x without parentheses. Negative 4 times negative x, a negative times a negative makes a positive. So 4 times x is just going to be 4x. X times negative 3 is a negative 3x. And 2x times 5 is going to be a 10x. If you didn't remember those, go ahead and copy those down. Now for the lesson for today. So when you are multiplying polynomials, you add the exponents of the common variables. So notice how it says multiplying, you add the exponents. That's very important. So let me zoom in a little bit for you guys. So for this first problem, you are going to multiply the front numbers, which is the negative 3 and the 5, the coefficients, and then you are, sorry about that, you are going to add exponents. So negative 3 times 5 is a negative 15. Then for the exponents, you're doing x to the 4th, and you're adding the 2 to it. So you get x to the 6th. So your final answer is negative 15, x to the 6th. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. Okay, for the next one, remember the number right here by the negative is a 1. So you're doing a 4 times a negative 1 for your numbers, which gives you a negative 4. And then don't forget up here in the exponent, it's 4x to the 1 as well. There's a little 1 up there. So when we add exponents, you get 1 plus 5. 1 plus 5 is 6. So when you put it together, your final answer is negative 4x to the 6th. Next, distribution. We distribute when we multiply a monomial times a polynomial. So that's just when you have one thing times two things. So this is your example, but I'm gonna put some arrows on it because I don't really like how it's set up. So this 2 right here on the outside is what everything in the inside needs. So I have to draw arrows. So this is kind of the same thing we're doing that we did when we had the negative. Now instead of a negative, it's just a 2. So this 2 multiplies to the 3x, which is right here. And then you have 2 times negative 1, which is right here. Then to get the final answer, they did the math. 2 times 3x is 6x, and 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Okay, so I am going to do example 1 with you, and then I'm going to have you pause, and I want you to try example 2. So again, step 1, draw your arrows. The arrows mean you're multiplying. So negative 3 times x is your first piece. And then you have to do negative 3 times negative 4 as your second piece. Negative 3 times x is just negative 3x, nothing changes. And then negative 3 times negative 4 is a positive 12. So your final answer is negative 3x plus 12. Remember for the next one that you're doing, up on top of these m's, there are exponents. They're little ones. So you pause the video and try the next problem. Okay, for the next one, also remember that there's a 1 in front of the m right here. So when you're distributing, I'll make this clearer for you. When you're distributing, you have to do 6 times 1, which is 6. The m times the m, you keep the m, and just like what we did above, you have to add exponents. Then you have to do the 6m times the 7. So 6 times 7 is a positive 42. And then m has nothing else over here, so you bring your m over. There's nothing to multiply with. So your final answer should be 6m squared plus 42m. Okay, let's go to example 3. So again, we have one thing on the outside, 2 things on the inside. So we need to draw our arrows. Again, you do number times number and you add exponents. So -3 times 2 is -6. And then you have an a and an a to the 5. Well, remember this a has a little 1. So when you have the variables, you keep your variable, the a, and you add the exponents. So 1 plus 5. So that's going to be a -6a to the 6. Then you take your, again, your -3a, and you have to go to the second piece now because we already did that piece. So now if I just multiply it by 1, it stays the exact same. So you have a -3a. Even though this next one has a fraction, it's okay. You're still doing the same steps. So go ahead and try to do example number 4. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to give you the answers. So you pause as well. Okay, so here is the answer for number 4. Okay, so example number 5 has it's a little bit more. It has this piece right here, which if I cover this part up, looks like what we've been doing. And then it has the part at the end. When you're distributing, this 2 only goes to the stuff in parentheses. Over here is separate. So this 2 only goes right here. So this is the only part we're multiplying. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times 6 should give you a 12. And then this part right here just comes down. We're not doing any math with it yet. It's just going to come down the exact same it is. So plus 5x minus 8. Now I can add my like terms. So remember, like terms have to have the same letter with the same exponent. So in this case, we have a 2x and a 5x. 2 plus 5 is a 7x. And then we have a 12 and a minus 8. Remember to keep that minus. So 12 minus 8 should give you a positive 4. Okay, for the next one, I want you guys to go ahead and distribute. So you do the first step, pause this video, and when you unpause, you'll be able to see what your first step should be. So your first step, remember, 4x times x squared, we're multiplying, so you have to add exponents. So there's a 4 times nothing, no extra number out front here. So remember, it's a 4 times a 1, so that's a 4. X to the 1 and x squared, you add exponents, so x cubed. 4x times -1 is a -4x. So everything right in this first is this blue. Okay, let's change colors. Now, if I do this second part right here, negative 2 times x should have given you a negative 2x. Negative 2 times 7 is a negative 14. If that matches yours, pause the video and add your like terms. If you add like terms, the only two terms that are the same that I can add are those two in the middle, negative 4x and negative 2. So the 4x cubed is just going to come straight down. Negative 4 and negative 2, if you do it correctly, should give you a negative 6x. And then the negative 14 at the end is just going to come down because it doesn't have anything to combine with. Okay, next we have a perimeter problem. It's x, 4, x, and 3. So it says find the perimeter and area of the rectangle B, C, F, and E. So B is right here, C, F, and E. So we are looking at this rectangle right here. So we know this side is 4, so let's finish labeling the sides. If that side's 4, then this side's 4. If this is x, then this is x, and this is x. So remember, to find the perimeter, you're adding up all the side lengths. So if I start here, we have x plus 4 plus another x plus another 4. And then you're adding like terms. So x and x both go together. Remember, those are 1x's. So 1x plus 1x is a 2x. 4 plus 4 makes an 8. So the perimeter is 2x plus 8. But it doesn't only say find the perimeter, it also says find the area. So the area is length times width. Well, it doesn't matter which one you call which. Let's just say this side's my length and this side's my width. One's a 4, one's an x. If I do length times width, it's x times 4. Well, x times 4 is the same thing as 4x. So your area in this case is a 4x. Okay, let's go on to the next one. The next one says, find the perimeter and area of a rectangle DFIG. So let's see. DFIG means we're looking at this big rectangle. So let's see. So I know this side's 3. So go ahead and pause the video and see if you can label the other sides. If this side's 3, then this side is also 3. If this whole side is x and 4, then this whole side is x and 4, and this whole side is x and 4. Make sure that when you're doing this, we're adding these two sides together to make one big length. So this should say x plus 4 and x plus 4. This one is a little bit harder, so I'm going to pause the video and show my steps without the video running since I am running out of time. So when you set it up for perimeter, I'm just taking each of the sides and adding them together. Remember, when you're adding like terms, you just combine like terms. So your perimeter ends up being 2x plus 14. Now I am going to set up the area. So for the area, it should be 3 times x plus 4. So pause this video and go ahead and distribute that and see if you get the right answer. So if you distribute it properly, you should get 3x plus 12 for the area. And this is the end of the note.